Doc, get to the tower where the sun is setting! There he is! Doc, get to the tower! Can't hit him! Where you see right there! Doc, you got company! Hit him! I'm trying! Where'd he go? Here we are. Hold for me, baby. Hold for me. Yes, yes, we made it. Oh, no. Oh, not again. Hey, Doc. That's a lot. We got it. Got it? Got it. Doc, thank you.
Well, Jack, once again, I'm the man in your way.
The sun is setting. We haven't much time.
Oh, it's setting, Jack. It's setting on your end time. Such a short-lived life. Any last words?
Well, we could watch the early late night live show at 7.
Show kind of sucks, boss.
I don't mind it.
Good evening and welcome to the Early Late Night live show. We couldn't do a show tonight without obviously mentioning everything that is going on within the country right now. So we're not a political show, so we're not going to be having open discussions about this or anything like that. But we are going to take a moment in this opening monologue instead of having a usual comedic opening monologue. We're going to take a moment of silence to remember all the victims of brutality. So we're just going to take a moment. All right, well, yeah, that's our whole opening monologue. So, yes, we just wish the best for everyone involved in this situation. So, anyways, cut to opening credits, and when we come back, it'll be the Early Late Night live show.
So.
Right. Oh, welcome back to the Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and our YouTube channel, Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. No sports, no politics, just entertainment, or whatever it is that we're doing right now, which is Arnie standing up with her glasses. She's got brand new glasses, sitting with you always. Unfortunately, is my sister KJ. How new are those glasses?
Not very new. I just kind of forgot I had them for a while, so.
Oh, okay. All right. And the man who's giving us all the fingers through his eyes, Mitch Fortier. I don't even know what that means.
Like glasses?
Yeah. Now, Mitch, we both talked about our tufts of hair, just so you know.
How's my tufts look?
Huh?
How my tufts look?
Yeah. I mean, you're looking good right now, though. The kind of slightly messy hair and the scruffy look with the flannel shirt, it works well. At risk of sounding weird, you're looking pretty good right now, man. Just saying.
Hey, I appreciate it. You know what? Yeah, it's nothing wrong with giving a person a compliment, regardless of what gender they are.
Right. Yeah, Arnie, you're here. So
I'm here. My hair is slightly more than tufts, but yeah.
Yes, definitely more than tufts. But it is the Early Late Night Live Show, and we're doing our favorite segment of the show, Trailer Trash. And Arnie, what's the first trailer we have up?
Let's roll Becky.
Let's roll Becky. And hi, Bob Turandro, who is in the YouTube's room. So what do we got for Becky?
All right, so Becky is coming out June 5th. I don't know where it's being released, but it is coming out June 5th. It's directed by Jonathan Millot and Carrie Murnian, and it stars Joel McHale, Kevin James, and Lulu Wilson. And the write-up is, a teenager's weekend at a lake house with her father takes a turn for the worse when a group of convicts wreak havoc on their lives. So, I've got much to say about this trailer. Mitch, I'll let you go first, though.
So I guess ultimately, I really liked the concept of the show. It looks pretty exciting. A lot of risk. The James dude there. Oh my God, drawing a blank.
Kevin James. Dude,
we had his better version, Douglas Balakovich, on a couple months ago.
Yeah. I didn't recognize him at first because I was just watching it on my computer and it wasn't full screen. So not recognizing him kind of made the first part of the trailer feel one way for me at first, and then I saw it was him, and I'm like, I had to readjust my expectations of this character, and but it looks like a really cool, challenging role for him that I'm really excited to actually see him play. It looks intense. There's enough in the trailer to get me interested, give me a feel for the story, and there's plenty to be revealed, obviously, throughout. So, so I'm feeling pretty good overall about it at this point.
All right, and I'm pretty sure it was Donna, our old director, that brought up this trailer, right, Arnie?
Yeah, she did.
All right, yeah. So thank you, Donna, if you're watching. So Arnie, what's your thoughts on this trailer?
So my first thought was, gosh, that girl looks familiar. And then I realized she looks like Edith from Despicable Me. The middle with the hat and the violent nature. So I thought, it's like they made a live action version of Edith, but it's creepy.
You kind of took my joke, actually, because this is what
I'm sorry.
No, hang on a second. All right. We're talking we were talking the other day, Bob's Burgers. Me and Hannah are huge fans of Bob's Burgers, and you are too, right, Arnie?
Oh yeah, I love Bob's Burgers.
All right. Did
Thumbs
you
up
feel
for Bob's
the
Burgers.
live action Louise's Fantasy?
Yes.
Because this trailer looks cool. The movie looks good. It looks gritty. You know, I'm not usually up for like the 12-year-old girl taking on a whole bunch of like men like 3 times her size. I think it's usually ridiculous. But this feels like physically the way they're playing out her actions and stuff like that work, except for the damn hat. What is with the hat? It looks like Dora the Explorer is going on an adventure against neo-Nazis. Like, that's what it looks like. So that's what I feel like. It was just like, what if she's like, I'm going to take on these bad guys. And she puts on like a Louise hat from Bob's Burgers. Like, then she goes in this pink swing that's like on like a treehouse that's probably like 4 feet high. It's like, I don't, what?
It's like somebody saw Home Alone and said, I can up that.
Yeah.
Actually, I had that same sense too. I'm like Home Alone, slasher style. I don't know.
Because it's a shame because Kevin James I think looks great in this role. He's friggin' scary,
Yeah.
The whole cast, including the main girl, her acting is fine. It's just that weird costume choice. Like, so, but yeah, I'm going to give it 1 solid thumb up because it does look really good. 1 thumb sideways because what the hell? That's it. That's my that's my rating. Mitch, your thoughts on this?
So I'm a solid thumb up. A good trailer. It looks interesting. And I'm just going to go 1 sideways just because it's probably not when I go to see it in the theaters, and it's not a genre that I'm typically super excited about. So.
All right. Arnie?
I'm going to go full 2 in the middle. I didn't mind the hat, but I do mind Kevin James being a bad guy. That's not why I go to see Kevin James. Sorry.
All right.
We have to have standards.
We have to have standards. All right. And all right, let's move on to the next trailer. Arnie, what's the next trailer?
All right, I'm pretty sure I know what you two are going to rate this trailer, but this is the second Tenet trailer. So can you roll that, please? All right, so this is Tenet, directed by Christopher Nolan, written by Christopher Nolan, starring John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, and Elizabeth Debicki. Armed with only 1 word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, the protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time.
Also has got one of your favorite actors in it as well, playing the bad guy.
Yeah.
You mentioned his name too, Arnie.
Kenneth Branagh's in this movie too.
Right, there we go. So, Mitch, your thoughts on this trailer?
I was excited to see what the second trailer looked like after the first one having been somewhat convoluted. Didn't really, there's some confusion. Obviously, there's an interesting concept, came from the first one. This one actually had a lot more continuity to it in my judgment. It just seemed to give you the information and the pieces to keep you interested in knowing and growing and throughout the trailer, but yet leaving enough for the film to want me to go out and see it. The acting looks phenomenal. We got to see some new footage that was cool, and just to see some of these new actors and some old actors, and I think it's going to be exciting.
All right. Well, okay. So Christopher Nolan is a big James Bond fan, the classic Bond films, and you could see that in some of the ways that he has shot films like Inception and stuff like that. That he's got that. He loves that sort of. He's got that kind of old school Hollywood glamour look, which I think is really cool. I think that he doesn't forget that at the end of the day, this is still a film people are supposed to be entertained by. So I heard that he wanted to direct a Bond film, and I thought he's not very good for a Bond film because it's funny you mentioned continuity, and continuity in Christopher Nolan to me seems like an odd pairing of a sentence right there. But
he probably didn't direct this trailer then.
Right. I mean, as some of you guys know, I'm not too excited about the new Bond film. I'm kind of worried about it. But to me, this is what I wanted to see in a Bond film. This is entertaining. It's got intrigue. It's got some quibby lines. It's got cool set pieces. It's got like a cool big boat that just seems useless, but like, let's have it. The action scene is cool. And there's been talk before about an African-American James Bond, which I think this guy should be James Bond because he is very cool in this movie. And I said I liked him in the first trailer. Now, I'm not a big. I love action movies, but Arnie can attest to this. I don't watch a lot of new action movies because very few new action movies catch my attention. So I'm very picky about action films, and I think a lot of the heart of action films is lost. But this movie has got adventure, has got intrigue, and has got that sort of Bond charm. And at the end, when he's talking about the big plane thing with Robert Pattinson character, it's just fun. It's like, wow. Like, and it looks like a real plane crashing into a big building because it's Christopher Nolan.
Oh,
so
it's
of
a
course
real
you're going to
plane.
do it. Right. So,
no,
yeah.
it's a legit real plane.
Right. A legit real plane.
Terry, he really took a plane and blew it up.
Like it was a real size plane.
It's a real plane.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So like I was interested because I just like Christopher Nolan. I liked all of his films, loved some of his films, but I was interested in this film because it was Christopher Nolan. But this film, beyond Christopher Nolan, I just want to see. This is you go grab popcorn, you go and have watch a movie, you know? So yeah, that's what I feel. Arnie?
Okay, so the first time I watched the Christopher Nolan one, the Tenet trailer. I thought I don't get any feel for the stakes. And this one, I still don't know what the stakes actually are because I don't know what the threat is. So everyone's running around saying there's a threat, there's a threat, there's a threat, but I don't see a threat.
Right.
I just see a bunch of people running around and screaming because Kenneth Branagh's in the room. And now I totally get that. He's an awesome bad guy.
But you'd be screaming in a different way.
Oh my God, I'd be like a little girl. You know how they reacted to him in Harry Potter when he played that professor that thought he was charming? I'm that girl. Oh my God, it's you. I loved you and Jack Ryan. Oh yeah, and Chris Pine was in that too.
Right, yeah. Hang on a second, Arnie. Calm down. Let's not be insane here, right?
Actually, I'd probably be right there next to her going.
Oh,
wow.
We're friends, Mitch.
Wait a second. Okay. All right.
It's okay. It's all right.
Topping Chris Pine here, really? Like, I'm sorry. Okay, Kenneth Branagh, I like him and all, but we're talking Chris Pine. This guy
You're
is
talking to the girl whose first word was Skeletor, and you're surprised.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
I was
Branagh.
more interested in the bad guy in that.
all right.
Anyway.
Yes. Movie. Yeah. Tenet.
So I watched this and I thought, I still don't know what the stakes are. I still don't know why everyone's running around. I still don't understand anything that's going on. But I really like Kenneth Branagh, and I love Robert Pattinson in the last bit saying, we need to blow up a plane. That part slayed me, so I was like, I actually now want to see it because of those two things. Everything else is like, whatever, but those two things were, all right,
So,
I'll go.
My rating, guess you can guess, 2 thumbs way up. Very excited about this. Mitch Fortier?
Oh man, I was actually going to go. I'm actually doing one way up because the subject matter, the idea of what they're talking about and dealing with, and it just looks amazing. And then a solid thumbs up just for Pattinson, Branagh again, and some new characters look like they're really good.
All right, Arnie?
I gotta give it 2 thumbs up. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but what the heck? I'll probably watch it anyway. Michael Caine's in it too.
Yeah, I know. So if anyone is interested in what's their thoughts, make sure you put the rating in the description in the YouTube comment section because we're always interested to hear. We are going to go to break, but what's coming up is an ad for a show that is going to be playing on Facebook Live this Friday night at 8 p.m. through Abby Normal Productions. And in it it's an adaptation of an original adaptation of Dracula with KJ. She's going to be involved in it. So yes,
Dracula.
She got fangs and everything. All right.
I
So
do.
anyway, we're going to
They're
break
right here.
check out this ad, and we'll be back.
You are all welcome to join us and take part in a story like none other. A legend that has inspired an eternal legacy born of blood, terror, passion, and adventure. On June the 5th at 8 o'clock, when the sun goes down, the children of the night shall rise and pay homage to the most fearsome of their kind. If you have the courage, come and face the great horror of Transylvania, the greatest of all vampires. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring all the bodies full of blood. For as we all know, the blood is the life. With warmest regards, we shall see you die. Your friend, Dracula.
We can talk about it. We can use that for
All right, we're back. We are changing up the show a little bit tonight. And we are in the news segment with a new section of the news segment because it's at a new time on the news segment. And I don't know, I can't do anything else. I'm dying here. Mitch, take it away. What we got for news?
Well, let me see. I gotta go look it up.
Well, I told you before. Okay, whatever.
No, I got it right here. Let me go find something to talk about. Hold on a second. There we go. Got it.
Worse than the news segment last week.
Actually, I watched last week's show. I thought you did a really nice job.
Oh, thanks.
Unless it was it last week? Yeah.
Probably not because I had no news. Terry said, "Do you have any news?" I was like, "No."
Oh, it was a week before then. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So I apologize if I keep looking off to the side. I just go to check the comment section. And if you're in YouTube, write us a comment and let us know you're there because we need friends.
So, believe it or not, we actually have some box office news this week.
Whoa!
Yeah. And there's a little film by the name of Wretched that is about a boy whose parents are gotten divorced and he moved away, I guess, and ends up running into this battle with a witch of some kind, shape, or another. We have a picture of the cover. It looks pretty intense and not terribly indicative of what I think the film's really about, but at any rate, not what the news is about. The news is about the fact that this little unknown film from, according to Forbes anyways, has been at the top of the box office for 4 weeks now.
Helps when there's no competition, doesn't it?
How much money?
No competition. So they are now in 75 theaters, most of which are drive-in theaters, which is the 4 weeks or the 5 weeks that it will be is actually on par with films of the like of Black Panther and Avatar. A couple of films you may or may not have heard of.
Yes.
So IFC has been putting out films for a while, and they never really had any major box office hits. But this is one of those films I think is finally putting them on the map. Was drive-in theaters are still out there. It's one of 3 films on the Box Office Mojo's charts, if you will, for the past few weekends.
That is a weird-looking cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the skull and the woman with the crouched up and stuff. Yeah, it's the horror film, in and of itself is not something you generally see at the top of the box office. So that's unique in of itself. But at any rate, it was kind of funny just the fact that there was something in the box office, and that happened to be it. So.
Well, hey,
poster though, I have to say.
IFC does like a lot of like weird, dark-looking films. We've done a few of their trailers. But speaking of drive-ins, I think the Barn Z in Nottingham, they got like shipping containers and are doing drive-in movie theaters at their like right outside their theater now. I think they have concessions and everything, which is really cool. And I'm pretty sure Saco, Maine has a drive-in movie theater too. I don't know if it's open yet, but I really hope it is. Me and Hannah talk about we would love to go see a drive-in movie theater. But
yeah.
Pro tip for drive-in movie theater: bring a car with air conditioning because it can get really hot sometimes because it's summer. Usually, we're driving movie theaters, and you don't want to roll down the windows because bugs like popcorn. So, pro tip. That's all I'm saying.
I'm a fan of sitting in chairs outside of the vehicle and using bug spray and other things of that nature, or sitting in the back of a truck with a blanket and some pillows.
Oh, that sounds awesome
ultimate.
too. Yeah. Arnie, have you ever been to a drive-in?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've sat outside and watched bands, like, brass bands. But...
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Drive-in movie theater is a lot of fun. I'm going to ask Ryan, our tech guy. I'm going to ask Ryan, our tech guy, see if the Saco movie theater is opening up at all. Saco, Maine is opening up because I'm really curious about that. What else we got in the news, Mitch Fortier?
Well, it was speaking of drive-ins, it's actually kind of segued, but I'm gonna continue that conversation because I had some information I wanted to share. But I used to live in Milford, New Hampshire, and they have a drive-in theater there. All right. I've probably been there a dozen times, anyways, and it's been it's been there since like 1958 or something like that. So there are 348 drive-in movie theaters in the U.S. which is down from 443 in 2000. So I'm not surprised if there's a couple more popping up and things pick up a little bit on that side of things. But there's, in New Hampshire, there's Laconia, Milford, and Northfield apparently still open.
Really quick weather report. Is it raining where you guys are? Because suddenly the clouds just got dark and it's starting to downpour right now.
It rained earlier, but it's not right now.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yeah, it's getting dark where I am.
All right, yeah. It's coming
Dark
your way.
and creepy,
KJ.
actually. But I am in a
Arturo
basement,
said,
so.
My most recent copy of the Hollywood Reporter has no box office listings. Not surprising. Yes, not surprising at all. So hopefully sometime in the future that will turn around. We'll get to go back to the movies because I like going to the movies. I like the whole experience going to
I like going to movies to see, like, Chris Pine and Wonder Woman, so I'm really hoping that we open.
You're trying to save yourself from the Kenneth Branagh thing right now, Arnie. I know that. All
No,
right.
there's no saving me from that.
Yeah.
I
I
stand by
saw
it.
the first Wonder Woman, by the way.
What?
Huh?
I finally saw the first Wonder Woman.
Did you like it?
I've not seen it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it felt kind of childish to some degree for me, but I think that was kind of what they were going for, to kind of keep it, I don't know, it just felt nerf is the best word that I can.
I'm going to do
Can't be
something kinda
friends
rare
anymore.
right now, guys. I'm going to do something kind of rare.
We
with
just
felt
can't be
nerfed.
friends.
Show.
Like, I mean, it was impressive
Hang on a second,
overall.
guys.
Impressively childish, but
I'm doing something kind of rare right now on the show. All right. I'm taking you guys outside because it is dark and suddenly, like, the summer rain has hit. And the window on my car is open just a little bit right now.
oh no!
Which part makes me wonder, should I go outside right now and close the window, or should I just realize that my seat's going to be wet in the morning? So
Well, go save your car. We'll be here. Mitch has still
I
got
think-
news.
Little did our audience know that they were going to get a weather report from Berwick,
From
Maine.
Berwick,
It's a news segment.
started raining in Nashua. Yes. According to Saki's Drive and Facebook, they're open. All right. Yes, that's Saco. Anyways,
Saco.
you guys keep talking. I'm gonna go close the windows of my car.
All right, I'll be the substitute Terry. Mitch, what else have you got in the news?
Well, we just reviewed The Tenant, and I happened to come across the fact that the CEO of Cinemark is confirmed that they are intending to open up on July 17th. Now, obviously, there'll be limited theaters and things of that nature, but I'm guessing drive-ins might be a solid option for them. So,
All right.
especially if you got people putting up shipping containers and so we create drive-in theater, makeshift drive-in theaters, but. So that's that. And then the New England Film.com, one of my favorite sites, is putting up a filmmaker workshop June 10th at 6 p.m. It'll be online and virtual. It'll be the founder, Michelle Meek, and a couple of independent filmmakers for documentaries, and what was the other one? Director of Filmmakers and Collaborative, Executive Director of Filmmakers, from Laura Azevedo. I don't know who these people are, but they sound pretty cool. It looks like it is free, but yeah. So that was kind of cool. You know, filmmakers not
Can
being able to
anybody
make
join,
films.
or do you have to be a member of something?
No, it doesn't appear to be the case. I just want a name and email address, and how'd you hear about this event? So.
Cool. Say the early late night live show if you show up. Give us some likes.
Yes, absolutely. Say the early late night live show. Do they have that on? Say other.
I don't have an umbrella. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of soaked to the bone right now.
You need to change your shirt.
No, I'll be okay.
All right. Just don't do it on air because Bob Glowacki's probably going to not like that.
Yeah.
Well, a man in a wet plaid shirt, Terry, apparently is some kind of hit. I don't know. I heard this.
That sounds like an old Disney movie, The Man in the Wet Plaid Shirt. You know. So fiscal sponsorship for filmmakers.
Oh.
Yeah, you missed that. We're moving on. What's next, Mitch?
Actually, some interesting news.
I don't know.
I want to see it.
Watch the replay.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Oh my God! It is like torrential right now. I'm so sorry. Like suddenly, I'm looking outside. There's just a sheet of water coming down. So, yes. I know it's a weird show. I get it. I understand, but we're weird people. All right, look at Arnie's glasses. Look at Mitch's hair. It's one of
My
those
glasses
things.
are great. What are you talking about? So we did have a guest today. Unfortunately, he got called away on he's a reporter, so it looks like he got called away and probably won't be making it back in time for us.
All
So,
right, well,
Max, don't worry, we'll have you on again. But we're going to have to we got plenty of stuff to talk about. Just let me find it.
We can certainly figure it out, that's for sure.
Well, Max Bowen, let's give a shout out to we'll drop his links in the YouTube comments. And I asked that right now, Ryan, that you drop his links also on the Facebook page. If you could, please. There's a link on the Facebook page. Max Bowen, a host of Citywide Blackout. Citywide podcast is found on Podbean and on Spotify. New episodes are on Boston Free Radio. So, yes, and I would love to find out more about what he does in this podcast, but he's not here, so I can't talk to him. So maybe when he comes back. Now, Arnie, you were saying we need more guests for future episodes.
We do. So if anyone's watching who'd like to be a guest in our show, we're looking for actors, authors, singers, dancers, anything except Terry said no photographers because
no photographers. Yes, I haven't said it in a while, but it's time to reinitiate something important. No photographers. And if you're wondering why,
you can be a filmmaker and a photographer. You just can't. I said you can be a photographer and a filmmaker. You just can't come on the show as a photographer. Like you got a filmmaker hat.
You leave your photography at the door where it belongs. It sounds so weird.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But, hey, Paramount's Mission Impossible 7 is going to start filming again in September.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
So they say. Who knows?
I have to say, James Bond, the producers there, I mean, between Tenet and Mission Impossible, you guys are getting pushed right out of the fun blockbuster market here.
No, that just ticked me off about the new Bond film. It doesn't. I remember we sent the trailer to you, the song, which is a good song. No Time to Die.
I love the song.
Right, by what's the name of that singer?
Billie Eilish.
Billie, yeah. Hannah's a big fan of her, and it's a great song. And it's a good sounding Bond song. She actually was homeschooled. She's a homeschool.
Yeah, go homeschool girl.
Yeah. But you said, wow, this sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hashtag sarcasm.
Speaking of Mission Impossible 7, by the way, I'm just wondering when Mission Impossible Geriatric is going to come out. I mean, how many of these things are they going to make?
I don't know if you got the memo, Mitch, but I think Tom Cruise is like a vampire because he just doesn't age. Like, we're going to be doing this for the rest of the time.
Well, he had an interview with the vampire. I guess he got bit by it at some point. So
maybe there's something to that whole religion thing he's got going on.
If you guys want the tech guy Ryan to come on the show again and talk about some stuff he's passionate about, filmmaking and weddings, tell Terry. Ryan, no, we're not talking about weddings. All right, we're not doing that. A wedding almost destroyed my entire company, and just so you guys know, it wasn't me getting married. Right? So, but as Dan Graham, damn it, Dan Graham knows, I wasn't even at the wedding, and it almost ruined my whole company. So, I swore when I did my video production business, I would not film weddings. I got desperate. I filmed one wedding, almost went bankrupt. Anyways, when we come back, we'll have some more information, some more news, and more stuff to talk about. Stick around. We don't have our guest tonight. He has to step out for the last second. Max Bowen, you are welcome back as soon as Arnie can schedule you in. And yes, it's our late night live show Wednesday night, 7 to 8. We'll be back.
Hey Terry, how's it going?
Hey, this laptop's having sound issues again.
Yeah, it seems to be a common theme around here.
Why would this stupid thing work?
Oh, I know IT. Let me take a look.
I feel like this happens every week. We really need to get on top of this.
I'm sure Dan's doing the best that he can.
Yeah, Dan.
Oh, there it is. You had it muted.
I did not have it muted.
And
damn it, Dan.
Welcome back to the Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Please make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe and share with your friends and enemies alike. Weather report update, the rain is gone. So maybe I could have waited a couple minutes and then went out and grabbed my car, but it doesn't matter. So unfortunately, our guest Max Bowen had to step out the last second. He had to step out. He actually had to go to work. What's that like? None of us know what that's like. So we are going into a section of the show where we talk about recommendations, what it is we have seen or read recently that we'd like to recommend. For example, last week I recommended watching All Nighter on Amazon Prime. That stars J.K. Simmons and Emile Hirsch. And I also recommended And Now Back to Mannix, a book by Joanne M. Paul, an author we'd love to have on the show. We're going to work on trying to get her on the show. So our recommendation has to come with, there's a place where we can find it. Just so you know. I just realized that that's an important thing. So it's sort of like, wouldn't it be awesome if you watched that fleeting thing that went past the road, down the road there? But you don't get to see the thing because it fleeted away. But you missed out. So I highly recommend that you can't watch this because that's all you can do right now. So my recommendation is I think it's 1994 film starring Eric Idle and Bill Pullman. It's produced by Amblin Entertainment, which is Steven Spielberg's production company. A film called Casper. I have never seen Casper, as in like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Hannah has apparently been watching this a lot since she was a kid, and she told me, would you watch the first 15 minutes of it? I think you'll laugh. I just want to know, if this is the type of film you find funny. So last night I got home late from work. I was tired. I sat down to watch the first 15 minutes of it, and then I watched the whole movie.
The whole Bill Pullman, I mean.
Huh?
It's got Bill Pullman.
Yeah, Bill Pullman is awesome in it. The story is, if you don't know who Casper the Friendly Ghost is, a young family, a father and his daughter, whose mother his wife just recently passed away. The father has gone into ghost psychology. He's trying to find ways to communicate with ghosts in order so he can talk to his wife beyond the dead. So he gets hired to go try and get a ghost out of this house, which is haunted by Casper and his 3 uncle ghosts. Now, when the father gets there, he suddenly realizes that ghosts are actually real, and he starts to freak out. And then the daughter and the father end up befriending the ghosts, and it's a really fun and it's a very sweet and very funny movie. I feel like this is back in a time where they had actual practical sets, which is really nice to see. And they not only had comedy, but it was a very touching story that was intertwined beautifully. It wasn't just taking moments to do gags. So Casper is available on Netflix. Check it out. It's one from 1995 or 94. I'm totally forgetting right now. But it stars Bill Pullman and Eric Idle. Totally worth your time. So, Arnie, what have you got for recommendation?
All right. So, I've been studying for Dracula, obviously. So, yes. Because of that, I've been reading... Dracula. And so, because of that, I've been reading, obviously, nothing but silly comedy books.
Right, because obviously that coincides with a blood-sucking parasite who...
Obviously. Obviously. Yeah. So I've read this book again recently. For anyone who loves Jane Austen, this is called Austenland. It's by Shannon Hale, and it came out, I think, in 2010, something like that. But it's a fun story about a girl who's so obsessed with Jane Austen that she actually goes to a theme park, a Jane Austen theme park, where she gets to play a character for 3 weeks. And it's really awkward and funny, and I just love it. It's very sweet. It's a nice... It's a nice affirmation of just like, you're not crazy, or if you're crazy, we all are too. There was a movie, which I may have watched this week as well. It's not quite as sweet as the book, but it's still a lot of fun, and it's got Kerry Russell in it, and she's just always a blast. So for anyone who loves Jane Austen and just wants something relaxing to watch where people wear pretty dresses and nothing too stressful happens, I highly recommend Austenland. You can find both of these on Amazon.com.
All right, awesome. And Mitch Fortier, you are up. What have you got for a recommendation?
So my recommendation is a series on Netflix called Breaking Bad. Now, I've seen this entire series twice and just finished the series again recently, and I'm going to go through withdrawals, so I'm sure we'll find something else to watch. Watching Ozark right now, it's totally different, good in and of itself, but it's a letdown compared to what season 5 was of Breaking Bad. But if you don't know what the show is, it's about a school teacher who gets diagnosed with cancer and is faced with obviously life-altering changes and decides that he wants to be able to leave his family some kind of money, and ends up finding the meth business pretty profitable, and gets involved with making and cooking meth. Now he's doing it for his family, all the right reasons and all this stuff, and you really get to know this Bryan Cranston character, and so Bryan Cranston, Anna Gunn, Aaron Paul, the performances are just amazing. There's a couple other characters obviously throughout the entire series. And by the time you get to season 5, you've invested those 4 seasons. It is jam-packed and riveting, and you don't want to stop watching. And I binge watched 6 episodes in one day because I couldn't stop until my eyes fell asleep and we had to go to bed. So it's, if you don't mind a little bit of gore, because there's some of that, there's definitely some adult language and situations, and it's very smart. The holes are really, really small, but sometimes you're just like, what the hell? Why didn't you just do this? And then everything would have been fine. But no, you get a little bit of that frustration going on.
Which is perfect, because that's real life.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So, I mean, you see people doing things that you're just like, I don't understand, but Rob Odenkirk plays this guy, Saul Goodman. There's another series called Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul, yeah.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite characters by far. There's a movie out called El Camino. So once you're done with Breaking Bad, there's more stuff that you can go and watch and see that is worth your while. So it's an award-winning series, and for all the right reasons. It's gorgeous, it's intense, it's complex, and it's really well produced and acted. So 5.
And it is on Netflix, right?
And it's on Netflix. Yep.
All right.
Season.
I gotta mention something. Hang on a second. Calm down, honey. Bob Turner says Chris Esper's recently mentioned 2 of his short films, Bent and The Deja Vuers, are available on Amazon Prime.
That's right. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Chris edited Stuck for us. Yes. And The Robotic Horseman is also on Amazon Prime. So is Michael Lawrence, and so is Man Who Wasn't Tex McGrew, and the last 2. So, and The American Traveler. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of local produced
Spin the
talent
plate.
is on Amazon Prime.
Amazon is the place to hang out.
Amazon.
So what I was going to say was, I thought it was interesting that you just said, Mitch, that you rewatched the show in its entirety. I think that's what you were saying.
I did. Yeah.
And it's interesting to me which shows we end up rewatching all the way through, because there's some shows that I really, really love, but I only watched once, and I really don't need to watch them again. Like Once Upon a Time, I really loved, but I've never had to watch it again. But the
You only had to watch it once upon a time.
Yeah, but I love it. It's so much fun. But The Newsroom, I've watched twice, and I want to watch again, and I don't know why.
It's a great series. Yeah. When things are really smart and really clever and complex, and there's a lot of different storylines, I think that makes it more likely to be watched. Like, I won't watch The Office.
Or Parks and Rec, because I watch Parks and Rec like a dozen times over.
There are shows that you just watch sporadically because you can watch an episode of like Family Guy or The Simpsons or something like that, just out of the blue. I do that stuff all the time.
Because I'll watch Frasier.
Oh my God. Love Casper. Love Breaking Bad. Seriously, the best show on TV I've ever seen. This is Kate. Kate, why have you hijacked Allison Carey's account? Also, Casper has a great soundtrack. Yeah. I own it.
Yeah, Breaking Bad is still the best series I've ever seen.
Justified, to me, is probably one of my most favorite series of all time.
Top 5, top 3, probably. It's really good.
But, hang on one second.
All right. What?
Hang on one second.
You got your cowboy hat and your 6-shooter.
No, not a cowboy hat. Arnie mentioned it. I was able to pick this up. The reason why I got home late yesterday was because after work, I took a ride up to Portland, Maine to get this for me and Hannah, because it's been very hard to find, and I actually did find it. And so now,
I know what this is.
Yes.
Nice.
The entire series of Frasier is now,
That's a series I'd like to watch from beginning to end. Like, I finally got to see Office from beginning to end for the first time in every episode, and Frasier is one I think I'd put on my list for sure.
Oh my God,
it's worth it.
I've watched it so many times. Hannah's watched it so many times. I know Arnie, you watched it so many times. And as soon as it went off on Netflix, all of a sudden everyone was buying it up. And when I called up the guy at Bull Moose, I said, I've been trying to find this series everywhere. And how did he put it? He says, there's been a worldwide Frasier shortage, I think is how he worded it. Which
Really?
He said the Great Frasier Famine. I think that's how he worded it, the Great Frasier Famine.
Well, Frasier is, in a way, it's a lot like The Odd Couple in that it takes place usually in his apartment with a very small cast.
Yes.
And it really relies on the characters, like the way they bump heads with each other, not so much what they do with the outside world. But because I love The Odd Couple too. I was rewatching that on Hulu, and they really the 1960s or 70s one.
Yes.
There are very few episodes that I wouldn't say were top notch of The Odd Couple.
It was a great show. Yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of the episodes, it was just them, the pair of them together in the apartment arguing about something. It was fascinating. You were just watching these two guys have a fight.
Well, the original writer for the play was
Neil Simon.
Neil Simon. He actually wrote the role specifically for Walter Matthau.
Oh, that's interesting.
And Walter Matthau
because I like Jack Klugman better.
Right. Walter Matthau said he wanted to play Felix. He thought it would be a more challenging role. He said, "Can you stop trying to be an actor and just play this part because you'd be good at it?" That was what I guess Neil Simon said to him, which is a good lesson for all you actors out there, because arguably, probably Walter Matthau's most famous role is playing
himself in The Odd Couple.
Playing himself in The Odd Couple. But yeah. Hey, any other recommendations before we go to a break, gang? Any other recommendations?
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, like Breaking Bad, a lot of people have seen because it's been so popular, so it was a little bit of a cop-out, but...
it's not a cop-out. No, you just...
But, I mean, the fact
haven't seen it, so...
No, but the fact that... You haven't seen it, Arnie?
No.
Neither have I.
Oh, really? Well, then, great. But anyways, so I was thinking about, like, what would I recommend that was maybe not so well-known? And there's a series called Viking on HBO.
Oh, I've heard of that. Is it good?
It's I can honestly say that the first 3 seasons or 3.5 seasons, I think, are phenomenal, and then something shifts and things that then change and going on in the storyline that change it a little bit, and it just kind of starts to falter.
Tell me they become Christians.
Then I lost track of it, so I think I haven't finished watching the series yet, but I would definitely go back to watch it again, maybe with somebody else, and then finish out the series to see how it ends. But I will say this too: Breaking Bad has probably got one of the best endings that I've ever seen outside of Sons of Anarchy.
And another show I never saw was Sons of Anarchy. But real quick, Bob Churchill said also every episode of Homeland ends on a cliffhanger that makes you want to get right on the next episode. It's on Hulu. I almost said it's on Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
Hulu. Len Deming said Ozark arcs nicely. Wow, that was a sentence. The Last Kingdom is way better than Vikings, according to Mike Place. Well, before we get an argument here, folks,
cool.
Stick around. We can talk some more at the next section, but we got to cut to break. We're right back to the Late Night Live Show Wednesday nights, 7 to 8.
Okay, take care of that?
Oh, sure. I'll get right on it.
Thanks. What?
Oh, hey.
Okay, what are you doing here?
I was just thinking, your show has all these silly, goofy shenanigans and everything. There's nothing serious. Serious topics and issues.
Whoa, what do you mean by serious topics?
Your show isn't serious.
My show is very serious, out as you know. Yes, it is very serious. We talked about the Academy Award thing, and then Game of Thrones.
No, this is what you talk about. There are people taking their cats without consent, putting them on a leash, taking them to the park.
Guys! Get out! And Dan, take off my damn jacket. Cats on a leash?
They don't even have a choice, and they take them to the park, and then they get loose, and there's a child who maybe touch the cat, or somebody steps on it, or there's cars.
Go home.
Welcome back to the Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter's Channel 98. And on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and enemies alike, because we don't judge that much. Man, we do. So,
we totally judge.
We totally judge, yeah.
I'm judging so hard right now.
So, we have, everyone's been on lockdown, and the world's been a little crazy when it comes to artists, but we have been definitely seeing a like a surplus of very creative things that have come out of this, such as this is your second play, I think, live play you're participating in.
Yeah, second play, and then they did a live reading, which actually I'm going to do again. Do another play on the 20th. So, yeah, and I'm hoping to get cast in one of the next shows that they have because they have some fun shows lined up.
Yeah, that's at
like, please cast me.
Right. I know so I want to ask, in the midst of all this going on, because everyone's been sort of stuck at home, what has been your plan of action individually when it comes to like handling the situation? Because it was kind of like a rolling boulder that we all knew that this was likely to happen. We were going to be stuck at home, and luckily we were going to have so we're going to have a film project this year, but for other reasons we put it off, and it's kind of a good thing we did, because it would have been cut off right at the heels, because this would have been the time we started filming. So I've taken a particular angle on handling this whole situation. But KJ, what would you say has been your approach to this whole being locked down? Because I know you went from going out and working a regular day job and coming home to pretty much just being solely at home with your job and with everything else, and no more going out to do the show, no more going out to do many things. What has been your approach as an artist and as, a person trying to generate, more income and stuff like that through her book writing?
Well, I'm still working from home, so I don't have a lot. What I was really surprised at was how little free time I actually had. Because my job, actually, I have a lot to do. I didn't realize until I got home. And I'm like, oh, I can't do anything extra. I actually have to work.
Oh, that's the end of the day. Crap.
Oh, crap. I still got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So what I've been trying to do is I've been really focusing on writing, just the act of writing itself. And because I was kind of in a slump before this started. So I started off with, I had a certain word goal I had to meet each week. And it didn't matter what project I worked on. I had to write 5,000, 10,000 words. And that really worked. It got me out of my writing slump.
Right.
And the other thing I decided to do was actually to try some of these online, where I'm just the actor as opposed to acting, directing, writing, running around like a crazy person.
Yep.
And that's been a lot more fun than I would have thought. And I've gotten really nice part is, because it's remote, I've gotten to know a lot of people around the country that I would not have ever worked with before, because, I'm not in Georgia or I'm not in New York. So in some ways it's forced me to kind of look at myself and go a little deeper in. But on the other way, it's made me kind of go out in a lot of different ways that I would not have done.
All
so,
right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know if that answered your question. That was just sort of a rumination.
So it's been a fairly, all things considered, obviously, all things considered, it's been a fairly successful. It's been successful being shut down, even though you've been handling it better than you thought, probably, right? Yes.
I will be glad when it's done and I can go to Barnes and Noble and just sort of sit at a cafe and listen to the obnoxious wedding planners with their obnoxious couples again. Like, I'm so looking forward to that.
And you'll be able to tell your boss that I'm out of the office right now. I can't do anything, right?
I can't.
Yeah.
Now if I do that, he's like, well, where are you?
Mitch Fortier, what have you been doing amidst this whole pandemic?
Well, I'm sitting here trying to think of myself. Like I said, outside of the fact that you're wearing masks going into a grocery store, or I'm not driving for rideshare anymore, although they've made provisions in which you can wear a mask and your clients have to wear a mask and things like that. So I could be driving for them, but I'm not sure how much traffic there is right now, since nobody's going out to bars. Very few people are driving to work. Right. So I haven't even attempted to go back into that realm of things. Plus, my car is an absolute mess. And I couldn't possibly pick anybody up and feel good about it. So until I clean it. So, but honestly, my life hasn't changed all that much, other than the fact that the acting side of things and the filmmaking side of things is just gone. There's no auditions. I've had a couple in the last couple of weeks. a couple of calls from my agent for commercials that are being shot and availability, and one agency or casting director called for a kind of a standardized audition. Instead of going down to Boston and auditioning for their clients, they asked for these 2 scripts to be read in 2 different ways, and you send it to them, and then they'll forward that to their clients with the right people for the role. And so there's been a little bit of movement in the last couple of weeks on the acting side of things, which is cool. But as far as like grip work or PA work or assistant director work, I've been out of work. So
I was gonna say, you said like your life really hasn't changed, and I'm like, but your life was all about being on set, so that sounds like a big change to me.
Well, I mean, in the sense that I'm doing various things to make an income from that perspective. Like I'm still going out, I'm still working construction for friends or other people that I have, building decks, painting, building brick rock walls, painting, things of that nature. But yeah, you're right. And as far as the film side, I mean, it's just completely gone. So there's this huge void. But it doesn't really feel like my life has changed all that much. It's weird because I'm still freelancing and I'm still doing other stuff. I still have IT clients and companies that need my help. I don't have the routine Uber schedule and rideshare schedule that I used to have. Things have slowed down for sure. But I've actually, believe it or not, started looking into a new business that actually going back into internet marketing from a different perspective than I was doing it before, and starting to develop and build out that business plan. So I've actually been working towards a new business venture for all intents and purposes. That once I get it up and running, it'll more or less run itself. I just have to sell the services and then maintain the client relationships, but everything else will get taken care of by other people that I hire. So,
right.
So hopefully, that works out. And then, friends and family, I still see some of my friends on a regular basis, weekly.
Well, we didn't hear that. We didn't hear that because we have a stay-at-home order
Less
here.
than 10. It's
Didn't
always
hear nothing about that.
4 less. But yeah.
Because I'm not seeing anybody.
So yeah, no, I mean, yeah, staying in touch with family and friends on Skype and doing this play reading for Steve Lomer, reading his scripts, stuff like that has been fun for sure. So I haven't really been keeping the acting chops, if you will, doing anything on that side of things. But I figure I got what I got at this point. So.
It's definitely been a interesting time for a lot of people. Yeah, to me, it just came down to I have got so much stuff I had to get caught up on. Like even yesterday, the other day, me and Arnie were texting about the website situation. I'm still working on the website. And I had a million things that I had to take care of this year between work and bills. And I just recently got my truck fixed, which has been like my biggest thing I've been trying to get. So now I got multiple working vehicles and they're both working, which is nice. It's very nice to have 2 multi-thousand-pound vehicles that you're paying for that work. That's the better way you want them, when they're not working and they're just sitting there and they're still costing you money. It's a pain in the butt. So, but I've done, like Arnie was saying, I've done a lot more things where I've been communicating a lot more with people, and it's kind of nice because there's less chasing around, because it's like, we need to meet, and by meeting we mean we need to talk on Skype. How about this time? Sure. There's no more like, where are we going to meet or how are we going to get there or anything like that. It's like, cool, I'll be home in my underwear talking to you on the phone. This is fine. So I have not spent much time at home because recently I was working 2 jobs and back down to 1 job. So it's been a lot of dealing with a lot of the external safety protocols that I've been going through between the 2 businesses that I was working at. But it's been good for me because I've been able to get a lot of stuff done for Narrow Street Films, a lot of back end work. Because I know some people were like, well, we haven't done much in a while. It's like, well, we can't do anything because it's illegal in some places. But yeah, me and Arnie have been working a lot on different things, designing posters, building up sort of marketing plans, and
coming up with new projects. Because what are you gonna do when you get nothing?
Right? Yeah, and I've been trying to temper that and get the other projects done that we already have. Like we had a online screening of our short film, The Fair Fight, which was really cool, received really well. Working on scripts, storylines, and stuff like that. But I think if you look around, there's almost always something you can be doing. But it all is dependent upon whether or not you have a goal. And obstacles don't define whether or not obstacles don't always define whether or not you are going to keep a goal. So an obstacle is between you and a goal. It very seldom should, anyways, stop you from still pursuing the goal. You just have to work around it. And this has just been obviously bad in a lot of ways, but just been a large obstacle for the majority of the people in this world. But I think the key element in all these artistic endeavors with all of us is you got to find out what the goal is. And we got to continually be thinking about the goal and always be moving towards that, whether it's around an obstacle or through an obstacle or over an obstacle. You just got to keep that goal in mind. And that's what I'll say to all you artists out there. Whatever it is you could be doing, just keep moving forward. Find some way to move forward. So,
well, we'll say this. The one nice thing was someone was challenging me with the new year, saying you're just too busy. You have to like cut stuff out. And there came a point where I was like, I can't cut anything out. The whole world would have to stop for me to cut something. So first, I apologize, because apparently this is my fault. I spoke that out in the universe and it happened.
I wasn't going to blame you in general, but now I've got reason to. So.
But the other thing I realized was how much I really like my life and how much I really like everyone that's in it. So it wasn't, over these past 3 months, I've gotten a lot done. I've had a lot of fun and all this other stuff. But I'll be really glad when I can go out and see people again. And it's made me really grateful for all the people and all the stuff I was able to do before this, and all the stuff I'll be able to do after this. So it's like it's actually
make me realize who you call too. Like, who do I miss talking to?
Yeah.
In this time span. Oh crap! I gotta call Ken. Anyways, we gotta start wrapping up this show. This has been a fun show. Max Bowen, we'd love to have you back on the show. Let me see. I'm gonna double check the name of his podcast, which you can find on Spotify and Podbean. Host of Citywide Blackout. Ryan should have dropped that in the Facebook page and in the link below. I'll double check with him. If not, I will, scorn him slightly if he has failed to do this, and we will have him on the show to talk about tech stuff. I want to thank Len Deming, Allison Carey, also known as Kate, Bob Turanjo, Mike Place, everyone in the YouTube room. Thank you for coming and commenting. Please make sure to share and like. And once again, we remember all those who are suffering from brutality throughout everything that is going on in the country right now. We're not ignoring it, but we're not a political show, so I don't know what. We want to give
you a break, honestly. So that's why we're here.
That's why. That's why we're. Yes, that is why we're here. For once I was out of words. That's why I have Arnie. She's got the glasses and the words. So for all you single guys out there, if you're wondering,
you need someone to complete your sentences.
Yeah, to complete your sentences. Yeah, KJ's email is below.
And highly recommend.
We're out of here. Arnie, who's our guest for next week? Let's hope they show up.
Our next guest is Stephen Lomer. Also, check out Dracula on Abby Normal Productions page this Friday at 8:00. I'll be there. Blink, you'll miss me, but I'll be there.
All right, folks. We're out of here, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for watching the Early Late Night Live Show. We are on every Wednesday night live at Exeter Studios in Exeter, New Hampshire, 7 p.m. every Wednesday night. Please make sure to join us next week for more entertainment, comedy, and information that is probably not that important or timely. But no sports or no politics, so there's that. To find out more about my film company, make sure to check out NarrowStreetFilms.com. To find out more about Killarney's writing, make sure you check out KillarneyTraynor.com. To find out more about Mitch and his acting, I'm sure he's got a website. I keep forgetting the name of it. I'll write it down here. To find out more about the wonderful studio that we produce at Exeter Studio, go to exeternh.tv. They're a great studio, and they're doing a lot of cool things. But please make sure to like us on Facebook, and please, please, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell and like, and make sure that you share with your friends and enemies alike, because we don't judge that much. See you next week.